Hey everybody, Enra Silver here. Welcome back to the Void Terraformer Build Journal. Today's episode 4. We're going to talk about reactor deco and run some pipes above ground. And, oh no, not again! Now, I call that an object demonstration as to how much I hated these storms on this planet. Now, while my slightly younger and clearly much stupider self is being thrown through the air and slammed into the ground, let me thank you for tuning in to episode 4 of the Void Terraformer Build Journal. We're going to talk about making some reactor control panels and running some piping above ground. So, thanks a lot for tuning in, and let's get to it. Now, since I had a bit more room down at reactor number 3, I figured I wanted to have a little pile of materials next to it, a little storage space, if you will. So I settled on these industrial barrels stacked in a pyramid next to the reactor. It was pretty easy to do, just turned them on their side, sized them up to where I wanted them, laid 4 of them out right next to each other, and then just kept making rows above them, making sure each barrel nestled in between the 2 below it. And then once I got to the top, I looked at the whole thing and it was floating. Not really a good look, so I just took one of the industrial pallets, sized it up, and slid it under there so it looked like they were all just sitting on top of the pallet. Ended up working out nicely. Threw a couple vent fans on the outside of the cylinders leading out of the reactors, and then it was time to put the panel on the front of it. Now, if you take one of these industrial workbenches or worktops and spin it so that the bottom is facing you, the bottom's actually got a bit of a mirrored finish to it, and it ended up working out pretty well as the base of this control panel. So I just placed that, sized it down a little bit so it would kind of nestle into the edge of that crook created by the kick from the BCE, and then I just started putting stuff on it. Now, quick note about the deco for all these different reactor panels. I didn't come in with a plan. This isn't something that I drew out ahead of time. I just threw this up and started putting stuff on it. I know that I like the wall panels. I don't like them at an angle. I'll usually put them on a different surface and adjust the angle on them so that they look like they're flat. And then I just grabbed other deco items and started slapping them on there and seeing what they looked like together for each one of these control panels. So, sorry, no big grand plan, just throwing pieces around. So once I was done with that reactor panel, I went over to reactor 1 and 2, and lately I've been seeing a lot of builds making fantastic uses of decals. Boyd Gaming does a phenomenal job with them. The first build I ever saw them in was a collabo build with Nirwana and Chong Sparks, where he used them excellently. And then also my friend Pez, as well as Action Pants Gaming, uses them as well. All phenomenally. So I wanted to take a page out of their playbook, since they're all fantastic builders, and use the decals in just different ways, changing the color, using them to break up the monotony of all the piping, make it look a little bit different, add a little dynamic to it. So you tell me whether it worked or not. I like the end result personally. So once I got decals painted on all the pipes in the underground areas for mini reactors 1 through 3, I went over to the other area and started doing 4 and 5. Now over behind mini reactor 4, I wanted to have kind of like a master control area kind of sunk into the wall, so I used a metal floor panel to push the wall back, the rock wall, and then placed a metal wall just inside the rock wall that I then put side panels on, and then in between each side panel I put some pill lights to light them up. Now the metal wall and the metal panel are both assigned to the scaffolding comp, so when I delete that comp, they'll go away and the rock will come back and kind of grow over the side panels a little bit, giving it a good look. So after I put some vents on the piping coming out of the mini reactor itself, I went ahead to do the control panel. Now, to get the control panel suspended in front of the reactor, I put a wall up and then placed the panel on that wall. I just made sure the wall was assigned to the scaffolding comp, so that when I deleted the scaffolding comp, the wall would go and the panel would stay. And then once again, I just kind of threw stuff around until I found something that I thought looked good. Now that that's done, let's move on to the 5th reactor. So for this control panel, I used the same wall assigned to the scaffolding comp trick to get it suspended, and then once again, just kind of played around with stuff until I found something that I thought looked pretty cool. Now, while all my control panels have similar design elements, I tried to make each one slightly different than the others. This is in order to give little unexpected looks to my build, to break up the monotony so it's not just cookie cutter, same old, you've seen one, you've seen them all. And I think I did a pretty good job at achieving that. Hopefully if you're watching this, you think so as well. So let me know in the comments. So that's the skinny on all the control panels and decal on the underground reactors and piping. And for the above ground, it was more of the same installations that I've been using below ground. Now, because of the extended distances, I did end up throwing in an extra pipe here or there in between void husks, as well as throwing in some extra lighting, just anything to kind of keep it from being monotonous like I've been trying. that does it for episode 4. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Check back in a couple days for episode 5, where we're going to go over assembling the main reactor. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will talk to y'all in a few days.